It's a very consistent and predictable business model. And we can also go look at a specific market and ascertain what our supply and demand is, so that we don't go into situations where there's too much supply already in the marketplace. We can avoid those areas.
So what's the number one secret, Scott? I mentioned some of these major stats, including there are over 48,000 self-storage facilities in the U.S., and that there are more self-storage units in the U.S. than McDonald's and Starbucks locations combined, which is pretty staggering. Most people maybe don't know about that, but give us the number one secret to taking these stats, understanding them, and investing passively to make a good return.
Well, the main reason why I'm focused on self-storage versus apartments in multifamily at this point in time is a few different reasons. One, it's a lot more predictable business model. I deemed it recessionary resistant. Others had deemed it recessionary proof. But we went back and studied all the major recessions, from inflation all the way up through the current one, which technically wasn't a recession, but we're certainly experiencing recessionary type circumstances. And so in each of those cases, self-storage slightly dipped, but then rebounded very aggressively. And it's always stayed around 88 to 90% occupied during that entire time period. So it's a very consistent and predictable business model. And we can also go look at a specific market and ascertain what our supply and demand is, so that we don't go into situations where there's too much supply already in the marketplace. We can avoid those areas. That was something that we... Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. You keep going. Sorry.
So that's the reasons why we're doing it, is just because of it's a lot more predictable in terms of the business model compared to multifamily.
Fantastic. So predictable, recession resistant, occupying 88 to 90%. It's consistent, and it's more predictable, I guess, is maybe the overall first part of that theme. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Excellent. So what's the second secret or second step to, it could even be investing with you, maybe what an investor should be asking, maybe they're looking at and they see the sexy multifamily or the sexy, well, I don't know if you can call mobile home park sexy, but you might say like it's like the thing to do, right? It used to be, but that's kind of the secrets out there too. So walk us through, a high net worth accredited investor looking at potentially investing, and you're making the case for self-storage on that first part of it, but what would be the next thing compared to those other two?
Well, I don't think anyone's ever accused self-storage of being sexy. So, but I would say that 50% of our investors are doing it for tax strategies as opposed to growth. There are three different types of assets within self-storage, and we equate them to different stocks. One would be penny, blue chip, and growth. And we're predominantly focused on the growth and the blue chip in terms of good annual cash flow, but also the appreciation. But more importantly, the different tax structures that we have set up in order to help protect or defer capital gains. So we've done everything from historic tax credits. We've done multiple cost segregations, one upon acquisition and then one upon redevelopment. So we can load up on the depreciation schedules at that point in time. And then the most powerful tool that we've implemented is the opportunity zones, which actually wipes out any tax gains. And worst case is a tax deferment, but best case is a complete wipeout of any capital gains taxes.
Okay, this is going to be fun.